What's up everyone, and welcome to a special Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire video on how to find all the new Mega Stones in the Hoenn region. This video will only cover the new Mega Stones for the Mega Evolutions introduced in these games, but I'm working on a second part just in case you need some help finding the old Mega Stones introduced in X and Y that are also found scattered throughout Hoenn. Be sure to check out the description of this video because once part 2 does come out, I'll put a link to the video down there. Now, unlike X and Y, there's no specific time during which the Mega Stones appear in these games, but for a lot of them to show up, you are going to need to have completed the Delta episode, which happens after you beat the Pokemon League, so I recommend you wait until then to go after all these stones. For this guide, I'll be going in the Pokédex order of the 19 new Mega Evolving Pokemon found in these games, but if you're only looking for one specific stone, check the description where I will include timestamps of this video at which you can find each stone. Now let's get started with one of the most surprising new Mega Evolutions, Beedrill. Let's fly or soar over to Route 108 between Dewford Town and Slateport City. This is where you would find the abandoned ship in the original games, but in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire we have a new area instead called Sea Mauville. You can come here anytime after you're able to surf, but to get the Mega Stone inside, you'll need the ability to dive as well. Getting to the end of this abandoned research facility can be a little confusing, but as long as you talk to all the people and search all of the cabinets, you'll find the keys needed to unlock the rooms inside. Finally, you'll find the storage key, and inside of the storage, you'll find a whole bunch of nuggets and the Beedrillite. The next Mega Stone is for Pidgeot, and you can actually get this one really early on in your adventure. Head to Verdanturf Town, and if you haven't done so already, talk to this little girl to find out she's looking for her lost Shroomish. Little old Shroomish is behind the sign right in the middle of the town, and for all of your troubles, this nice little girl will give you the Intriguing Stone, which looks an awful lot like a Mega Stone. But shh, you're not supposed to know that. If we head to Devoncorp in Rustboro City and talk to Big Bad Mr. Stone, he will uncover the mystery for you and reveal that this whole time you've had the Pidgeotite. The Mega Stone for Slowbro can be found at any point during your adventure in the Shoal Cave. However, getting it will take a couple of visits. Come here between the hours 3 to 9 AM or PM to get the low tide, during which you must collect 4 shoal salts from the cave floor. Now return between 9 to 3 AM or PM to get the high tide, and during this time you must collect 4 shoal shells. Once you have 4 of each shoal salts and shoal shells, try to say that 4 times fast, bring these items to this nice old man and he will craft you the beautiful shell bell. But who cares about that, because he will also give you the Slowbronite. Sorry to break the Pokédex order here, but since we're already in the Shoal Cave, the Mega Stone for Glalie can also be found here during the low tide, so between 3 to 9. Head to the very bottom of the cave to find a Winter Wonderland. Though it might be hard to spot the stone at first because it's so dang bright in here, if you squint hard enough, you'll find the Glalitite. Our cave exploring isn't done yet, as now we head off to Granite Cave in Dewford Town. You'll need the Mach Bike to get to the lower levels of this cave, and I also recommend you bring along a Pokemon that knows Flash because someone forgot to turn on the lights in here. I blame Steven. Not so deep into the cave, you'll find the Steelixite. Moving on to the starters of the Hoenn region. The stone for the starter you chose at the beginning of the game is given to you by Steven Stone in Route 120, and there's no way you can skip this event as far as I know, so you should have the stone for your starter no matter what. However, the stones for the other 2 starters can be purchased from a peculiar old man that appears in Route 114 after you've saved the world from Primal Groudon or Primal Kyogre. He sells a variety of stones with weird names, but the Mega Stones are the ones that are only 1,500 Pokédollars, so pick them up while they're hot, or wet, or grassy. It really depends on which starter you picked. Watch out, because this old scumbag also sells hard stones for ridiculous prices, and they are actually hard stones. It's not a trick, so for the love of Arceus, please don't buy them on accident. The Mega Stone for Sableye is one of the easiest new stones to stumble upon. In Sootopolis City, right after you've saved the world from primal destruction, make a right at the AZ tree, as I like to call it, and you'll find the Sablenite glittering on the ground. Now we move on to one of my favorite new Mega Evolutions introduced, Sharpedo. Depending on which version you're playing, the Sharpedonite will be given to you by Archie himself in Pokemon Alpha Sapphire during the Delta episode. so you really couldn't miss this one as long as you play through it. If you're playing Pokemon Omega Ruby, you'll have to wait a little longer, but after completing the Delta episode, you'll receive the SS ticket from your dad. Take this to the harbor in either Slateport or Lily Cove City, and you'll be able to set sail for the Grand Line, or the Battle Resort. On your first visit here, you'll run into Team Aqua, and they'll give you the Sharpedonite. Now for a little bit of deja vu, as the Megastone for Camerupt is found in the exact same way as Sharpedo, just in opposite versions of the games. So if you're playing Pokemon Omega Ruby, you'll receive the Cameruptite from Maxie himself in the Magma Hideout during the Delta episode. In Alpha Sapphire, you'll get it later on in the Battle Resort, so while they're not really version exclusive stones, you do get them at different times depending on which game you're playing. Being remakes of the 3rd generation, there's a lot of new Mega Evolutions for Hoenn Pokemon in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and we're not even close to done as we've got the Megastone for Altaria up next. All you have to do is talk to this nice collector in Lily Cove City and show him an Altaria to get yourself the Altarianite. The big badass flying croissant is finally here as we head after the Megastone for Salamencite. After completing the Delta episode, head to Meteor Falls and you'll see a familiar face. It's Zinnia's grandma. Like a good old grandma, she'll tell you a nice long story and give you the Salamencite. I wish my grandma gave me Megastones. The Megastone for Metagross can be obtained in 2 ways, one that's really easy and one that's super duper hard. If you're watching this video before January 14th, 2015, connect your game to the Nintendo Network, and via mystery gift, you'll be able to download a special shiny Beldum that comes attached with the Metagrossite. However, not everyone can connect their 3DS to the internet, and this will only be available so a limited time. So here's the other way to get this Megastone. After beating the Pokemon League, you must complete the Delta episode, which will allow you to re-challenge the Pokemon League, and then you have to take down Steven with his almost level 80 Mega Metagross, and then he will finally give you the Metagrossite. Next up, we have the Megastones for the legendary Eon duo, Latios and Latias. Depending on which version you're playing, this could either be the first Megastone you receive in your adventure, or one of the last ones. In Pokemon Omega Ruby, you'll befriend Latios in Southern Island during the main story, and he will come as a package deal with the Latiosite. In Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, you'll befriend Latias instead, and of course she'll come with the Latiasite. Now if you're playing the opposite version, you can get the other Eon Megastone from your Madre after completing the Delta episode. If she's not cooperating, just go out and back inside your house and talk to her again until she gives up that Megastone. Now finally moving on to the 4th generation, we have the Megastone for Loppunite. This one is obtained from a gentleman on the 2nd floor of Mauville City, which can be unlocked after you've saved the world from Primal Kyogre or Groudon. You'll find Watson in the center of Mauville City in front of the miniature Prism Tower, and he'll tell you about the new Mauville quest, but you don't need to do that to get the Megastone. After talking to him once, head to the elevators at the north part of the city and up to the 2nd floor, known as Mauville Hills. In the right hallway, you'll find a man in a suit looking for his rent money, and after talking to him, he'll go inside this apartment. Exit Mauville Hills and return to find him back out in the hallway, where he will gift you the Loppunite. Probably my favorite new Mega Evolution from these games is Galladite, and we're going after his Megastone next. Just pay a visit to Professor Cosmo in Fall Arbor Town after completing the Delta episode to get the Galladite. Another easy peasy Megastone to acquire is the one for Diancite. This one can be obtained by bringing a Fateful Encounter Diancite to any Pokemon Center. However, getting this Diancite might prove to be a problem. Diancite was only available for a couple of months as a downloadable event Pokemon in X and Y, so if you did manage to get the Fateful Encounter, just trade it over to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, put it in your party, and you'll receive the Diancite. Now you didn't think I forgot about my boy Mega Rayquaza, did you? The Megastone for Rayquaza can be obtained by gathering the 7 Dragon Balls and wishing for it to appear from the ancient dragon Shenron himself. Just kidding. Mega Rayquaza is a special Mega Evolution and doesn't actually require a Megastone. Instead, in order to Mega Evolve, Rayquaza just needs to know the move Dragon Ascent, which it should already have if you caught it during the Delta episode. But if you have another Rayquaza without Dragon Ascent, head to Meteor Falls and Zinnia's grandma will be more than happy to teach your big bad dragon this ancient move. And that wraps up all the new Megastones found in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. That's right, every single new Mega Evolution that wasn't in X and Y, that's in these games only, that's all of them. Okay, fine. The Megastone for Audinite is found in the Battle Resort after the Delta episode. Over on the right side of the island, you'll find a man who's a real looker, suffering from amnesia. And this nice lady, who probably doesn't want anything from him and is just being nice, will take him to her house. Head over to her house and talk to Looker inside to receive the Audinite. Though why you would ever want Mega Audinite is beyond me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and as I mentioned in the beginning, this is only part 1. So like the final Harry Potter movie and the Hunger Games and probably a bunch of movies in the future, this is going to be a 2-part video series, and part 2 will cover all of the old Megastones that were introduced in X and Y, since they can also be found in the Hoenn region. Once that video comes out, I'll add a link in the description and an annotation that you can click on screen somewhere right now, except it won't work if you're watching this before the video comes out, but once it does come out, that link will work. If you enjoyed this video and want to see something similar, I did a guide on how to find all the Megastones in Pokemon X and Y last year, and you can click this video to check that out. All those Megastones found in X and Y can actually be traded to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you just can't trade the new ones in these games back over to X and Y. Also coming soon will be a video showing off the new Mega Evolutions in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire with the stats and locations and all that. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that and future videos. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.